Hello and welcome. My name is Matthew Marquardt. I'm here to give you guys a quick tutorial on how to export a build of whatever map or level or game you're creating. The process is actually extremely simple. It's as simple as this. If we go up to the top and we hit File and we go down to Build Settings, we're going to open up a dialog box here that allows us to choose certain things that we want. Of course, we can see down here that there is a lot of different systems that you can build for, but unless you have dev kits, you can't be like, oh, I want to do an Xbox One game or whatever. Unless you have a dev kit, it's not going to matter anyways. So we're just going to leave all the defaults, at least for this class, for what we're doing, to the Windows and x86 architecture. Now you can go to player settings over here and choose other things, right? Just so you're aware of these, you're not expected to do any of this, but just so you're aware, you can change things like the name of your company. You can have the default icon, whatever the icon is for the executable when you're done building it. Default cursor for in-game. You can pick resolutions, whether it's full screen, whether like different sizes and so on. Aspect ratios you can choose, and then here's another section for all different types of icons for every type of size of icon. Splash images, right? So what does it look like when it's loading up? What image pops up? Stuff like that. So anyways, those are just a couple of things just so you know they're there. I'm not going to cover any of them, but for all you're going to do in your purposes legitimately is just hit build, right? And I'm going to save this to the desktop, and you can call it whatever you want. This one is a basic level, so I'll just call this basic level, and then I can put my name. So in this case, I'll just put my first initial and my last name here, so M. Marquardt. And then just hit save. And so what it will do is it will compile your level, and of course the larger your level is, the longer it will take to compile, but ultimately when you do this, it should be a fairly quick process because these levels are really small. But it will pop up with a window of whatever folder it was. It lets you see your stuff. Obviously, if I just shut that off and go straight to my desktop, you can see that I actually have the executable here. It looks like it's created a couple of other files in here, but what you really only need is your basic level, and Marquardt in this case _data, and then the exe. So the _data folder and the exe are extremely important. You put those two together, you right click, right, and then you can compress it to a desktop.zip. So we can just do that, and then you can rename it whatever you want. Right, so you've made a zip folder out of it. You can name this, the same kind of thing. It can just be basic level, or I can just put my initials on it. It doesn't matter. It makes it a little bit easier, right? So I'll just put my initials in there, such as that, and then I can post it onto the shell, whether it be Dropbox, whether it be Forum, whatever, right? But that's basically it as far as creating a build. And so once you've done that, of course, you can test it, right, before you zip it. I didn't do that, but you can test it by just double-clicking the exe here. And then it will give you some options, so you can choose the screen resolution, right? And I tend to like to pick windowed, right, when I go to run it, mostly because if you don't pick windowed and you don't have a way of getting out of it, you'll have to hit Control-Alt-Delete to actually get out of the program. So we'll do that, and we'll hit play, and whatever you created should now be a playable build. So you can bring this to any computer that has the graphical capabilities, and right, I can play the game, right, and basically do whatever I could do in the game that I designed, right? But very simple kind of thing. If you just hit escape, you can get your mouse again and shut out of it, right? But if you did full screen, you'd have to hit Control-Alt-Delete. But other way, that should be basically all you need to know about exporting out the level. And hopefully you learned something from this, and I'll see you in the next video.